Baseball, and we are expecting another near sellout crowd here at Miller Park as the Brewers go for the sweep against the Washington Nationals. And hi, everybody. Welcome back from Miller Park. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder, and it's great to have you with us. Hopefully the Brewers can wrap up one more and get the sweep as they continue to climb the standings. But rocking the spotlight last night was Ryan Braun, and say what you want to say about his year, but when that guy gets in a spot where it counts, he usually delivers.
No, he's an incredible talent, and it's just fun coming to the ballpark, waiting for Ryan Braun to do what he does. A walk-off on the last homestand, a bullet to right scoring Ricky Weeks, and last night he hit a bullet to left to score Ricky Weeks to win the ball game. But, you know, guys set the bar for themselves at an incredible pace. His first 3 seasons has been incredible, and, you know, this year, by his own admission, he's talking about having a bit of a down year. It might be a down year for Ryan Braun, but certainly not a down year for anybody else. When the situation gets the toughest, that's when Ryan Braun usually comes through.
All right, well, Ryan Braun back in the lineup once again today. The all-star starter, and the Brewers are making a run at a sweep. You could say they are lobbying for a sweep against the Washington Nationals. Exciting times here at Miller Park last night. A walk-off win for the Brewers. Ryan Braun delivering the big hit that was actually ruled a single when it was all said and done. And the Brewers picking up their second win in the series and now going after number 3 here against the Washington Nationals. Jim Riggleman is the skipper of the Nationals, and his lineup is brought to you by Subway. It's Nyjer Morgan leading off, Willie Harris playing third base for Ryan Zimmerman. Then it's Josh Willingham in the 3-hole. Adam Dunn back in the starting lineup tonight. Had the game-tying sac fly last night. Not very good numbers against Dave Bush, as a matter of fact. Roger Bernardino follows Dunn, then Ivan Rodriguez, and rounding out Riggleman's 9, Kennedy, Desmond, and Detweiler.
Dave Bush on the mound here today, making his 20th start, 21st appearance on the season, a .434 earned run average for Bush. He coming off a rough outing against the Pittsburgh Pirates at PNC Park. Only 4 innings, gave up 10 runs, but only 5 of them earned. And at the start before that, very good against the Braves. He's had good numbers lately against the Nationals.
Check the Brewers defensively behind Dave Bush. It's brought to you by Blaines, with Braun, Gomez, and England in the outfield. McGee, Escobar, Weeks, and Fielder around the horn, and a battery of Jonathan Lucroy and Dave Bush. Again, Corey Hart out of the lineup. Jim Edmonds not available today to start. So England gets his second consecutive start in right field. The home plate umpire is Jerry Meals. The crew chief is Dale Scott out at second base. Bright sunny day here in Milwaukee. Beautiful weather in the summertime. 71 degrees as we hit the air today, and hardly a cloud in the sky, if at all. Great day to be in the Midwest and at this beautiful ballpark. The roof is wide open and expecting a big crowd once again today. Homestand will continue tomorrow. The Reds are coming to town tomorrow. A 3-game series with Cincinnati after the Nationals wrap it up here with Milwaukee today. First pitch for Bush is in there for a strike, and away we go. Ken Maka's club at 46 and 53, 7 games under 500, 9 back of the first place Reds in the National League Central. Meanwhile, the Nationals are 42 and 56, 14 under, 15 and a half back of the Braves. And the Nationals dead last in the National League East to start the day. Nyjer Morgan into shallow center. Gomez tracks it down, makes the catch, and 1 away here in the first for Dave Bush.
And the Brewers all of a sudden starting to play some pretty good baseball at home. Now only 4 games under 500 after getting off to a dreadful start here at Miller Park this year. But things have turned around nicely for the Brewers at home. Ken Maka feeling as though his team, with a nice little winning streak, could get right back into this race. Make things interesting anyway.
Well, the Brewers have won 6 of their last 9 games. Had a 3-game sweep of the Pittsburgh Pirates before the All-Star break. The 6 of 9 coming post All-Star break. Split the road trip 4-4 through Atlanta and Pittsburgh, and they have won the first 2 games here against the Nationals. The Brewers' success, like every other team in baseball, depends on what happens on the mound. And other than a very rough inning for Dave Bush his last time out, he has been the most consistent Brewers starter outside of Yovani Gallardo.
And lately keeping the baseball in the ballpark. You know, he has troubles. It's usually giving up home runs.
See the numbers in the loss to the Pirates last Tuesday. 4 innings, 9 hits. He gave up 10 runs. 5 of those were earned runs, as Rock mentioned. As Bush strikes out Willie Harris. A called strike 3, and Dave Bush with 2 quick outs to get his day started.
Back-to-back changeups to Willie Harris, and then he busts them inside with the fastball. Good pitch by Bush. Able to catch the inside corner, and Jonathan holds it nicely for Jerry Meals behind home plate. Day game after a night game for Jonathan Lucroy. Did a nice job behind the plate last night. A lot of balls in the dirt. Handled them all.
Josh Willingham hits third today for Jim Riggleman. Ryan Zimmerman is out of the lineup. A day off for the Nationals' everyday third baseman. So Willingham bumps up into that 3-hole with Dunn to follow. Dunn out of the starting lineup last night. He did pinch hit, and he drove in the tying run in the 9th inning, setting up the dramatics for Braun in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, both Adam Dunn and Nyjer Morgan set it out last night against left-hander Manny Parra, who threw very well. But the middle of this Nationals lineup, when you include Ryan Zimmerman, as good as any.
Saw a lot of players last night. Matter of fact, we saw the entire position part of Jim Riggleman's roster last night. It was a bullpen by committee day for Jim Riggleman. His starter only went 2 1/3 innings. And an injury that has J.D. Martin on the disabled list as Willingham sends one down the line. Braun able to cut it off. Willingham on his way to second, might have a play here. The throw is just late. And Willingham with a double with 2 outs in the first inning.
Now, what we've seen from Willingham in his career, even when he was part of the Florida Marlins, anytime you get behind him and you give him a fastball middle in, look out. There's a fastball in on a 3-1 count, and he rips it down the left field line. You really have to try and force this guy to go to the opposite field.
Double number 15 for Willingham. Willingham's name and Dunn's name have surfaced a great deal in the trade rumors as we lead up to the trade deadline on July 31st. Big shift is on for Adam Dunn as Bush deals him strike 1. He gets the Prince Fielder treatment, the big left-handed slugger, with 3 infielders on the right side. A changeup that just missed. Not sure if it was low or away. But a ball and a strike on Dunn, who comes in with 23 home runs.
Dave Bush, a number of changeups already. That one just barely missing the bottom of the strike zone.
There's a fastball strike. Dave Bush is starting to get his velocity back with each outing. Remember, he was hit by a line drive last year in June, pretty much ended his season, even though he made a few starts after a Hanley Ramirez line drive off his right arm. It was a micro tear of his tricep, and it has been a long road back for Dave Bush. Now, while he's continued to pitch, his velocity still hasn't gotten back to the 90-91 that he was accustomed to prior to the injury. He sits comfortably right now between 86 and 88 miles per hour with the fastball. Dunn may have broken his bat. That one is down the right field line, foul.
And dangerous to be coming in on Adam Dunn. Well, you miss that over the plate. He put one up in the dew deck. He's been up there in his career a few years ago. But Bush able to get in on his fists and breaks his bat. You don't have to throw 95 miles an hour to be breaking bats. You come inside, you know, change ups, curveballs, fastballs away, you bust a hitter inside, even a guy like Adam Dunn, and you can do some damage.
Ball and 2 strikes on the big slugger. Fielder leads the league in homers with 24. Adam Dunn just one off that pace with 23 to start the day. Joey Votto, I beg your pardon, Joey Votto now leads the league with 25. I forgot he had a big day yesterday. He homered at the home of the Astros, Minute Maid Park. Cincinnati winning. So it's Votto, Fielder, and Adam Dunn. Mark Reynolds also at 23. The top 3 home run hitters in the National League. To the opposite field, slicing foul in the seats.
Yeah, Joey Votto and the Cincinnati Reds come in tomorrow. 3-game series. You would expect a few home runs in that series. Cincinnati and Milwaukee atop the league in homers as a team.
Adam Dunn, the former Cincinnati Red, traded from the Reds to the Diamondbacks, ultimately ending up in Washington. Pitching matchups are set for the next series with Cincinnati. The Reds are going to send up Bronson Arroyo tomorrow, Edinson Volquez Tuesday, and Travis Wood, the rookie left-hander, on Wednesday. Brewers will have Wolf, Gallardo, and Narveson.
That's a good curveball by Dave Bush. You know, his start against Pittsburgh, he was hanging that pitch, and with 2 strikes, that's where you want the curveball, down in the zone. Adam Dunn almost chased it.
Count evens at 2-2. Josh Willingham at second base. Bush trying to get through this first inning with a 0 on the board. And Dunn pops it foul. That one is headed for the seats as well. So he's fouling him off line to line. He's not squaring up, but is hanging tough is Adam Dunn.
Yep, that one on the end of the bat.
Knows he just missed it. Again with a 2-2 pitch from Bush. Got him that time. He took a little off. A changeup from Dave Bush. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Ryan Braun ready to hit after his heroics last night. Had a home run and ultimately the game winner in walk-off style last night. On a sunny Sunday here in Milwaukee. Brewers coming up for the first time against Ross Detweiler. Here's the lineup turned in by Ken Maka. Brought to you by Subway. Ricky Weeks, Alcides Escobar, and Ryan Braun at the top of the order. Escobar moves into the 2-hole today with Fielder, McGee, and Lucroy in the middle. Carlos Gomez, Joe England, and Dave Bush rounding it out. And that lineup will face left-hander Ross Detweiler, who is making his season debut here today in the major leagues after off-season hip surgery.
Yep, 6'5", 174 for Ross Detweiler. You see his career numbers with the Washington Nationals, a 1-6 record, that coming last year, and a .493 earned run average. Made 8 starts down in the minor leagues this year.
Well, he pitched well in those rehabilitation starts. A 2-2 record in the minor leagues with a .227 earned run average. Facing Ricky Weeks to start it. Weeks scored the winning run last night. Also took a shot to the head. It's amazing that Ricky not only stayed in the game but was able to finish the game, score the winning run. He's back in the lineup today. There are a lot of players. This would have been a guaranteed day off after a shot like that last night.
There is not a player in sports that is any tougher than Rickie Weeks. It's an amazing thing to watch that guy go about his business. Not just physically tough, but mentally very strong. Rickie Weeks.
Weeks took a fastball directly to the jaw last year. Didn't leave the game. Took one to the head last night. And so fortunate that he's wearing a batting helmet. Maybe even the dreadlocks had something to do with the little extra cushion
to blow
he
a
has
bit.
between. But either way, he stayed in the game. He performed very well after the hit by pitch. Matter of fact, he had the base hit in the 9th inning that set up the winning run.
That was one of the worst I've seen. I mean, one I remember that didn't involve Rickie Weeks was back in Old County Stadium when Mike Matheny got drilled in the mouth. Spit out some teeth, blood all over the place, never went down, and continued to catch the game. An amazing thing. Being tough like that, that's something special. Actually, Matheny did come out of that game, but he caught the next day.
Well, Matheny's career was ultimately cut short because of concussion problems. You remember Corey Koski right here at Miller Park had an injury that led to concussion, and he actually never came back from that injury. So it is impressive how Weeks has been able to deal with that. He strikes out. One gone for Detweiler. Here's the defense behind Ross Detweiler. Josh Willingham, Nigel Morgan, and Roger Bernardina. Willie Harris gets to start at third for Zimmerman. Ian Desmond, the shortstop. Adam Kennedy at second with Adams on at first. Pudge Rodriguez, the future Hall of Fame catcher, catching the young 24-year-old Ross Detweiler.
Zimmerman and Guzman both out of lineup today. I mean, those are two important parts of the Nationals offense.
Escobar dropped a bunt, still in the batter's box, so a foul ball. And it's quickly 0-2. Michael Morse out of the lineup as well, and not a household name, but he swung the bat like an all-star in this series. And 2 hits yesterday and 2 home runs on Friday night.
And he's been taken out mid-game both games. And good for the Brewers. He's got 4 hits in this series, and a couple of times he got pinch hit for actually yesterday, and was taken out in a double switch on Friday.
Escobar over to third and gets by Harris. He played the tough hop, and the hop played him. And Escobar is safe at first.
Not only do you lose a big bat in that lineup, but when Zimmerman's out, you lose a little bit of defense. And that will be a base hit, a tricky hop for Harris, but he'll tell you that he should have had it. 2-hopper came up on him just a bit, and it will be a base hit for Escobar.
Yeah, so Escobar swinging the bat well. Another hit in this series, and here is Ryan Braun. Actually, they've just changed it back to an error. So it was called a hit and now changed back to an E5. So no hit for Escobar, but a stolen base threat over at first base.
Yeah, 2-hopper rated a big league third baseman. They got to make that for him.
The Nationals committing the most errors in the National League. 79 errors this year. As Braun pops it up. Adam Kennedy wants it. Looking up into that high sky, and he makes a catch for out number 2.
And mentioning that Detweiler, a big kid, he's 6'5", but he doesn't throw very hard. He'll throw in the low 90s. He'll work probably around 89 to 92 miles an hour. He's got a very good curveball and a changeup, and I think it was a changeup that just got running. Basically a 3-pitch pitcher, and down in the minor leagues, he threw a lot of strikes.
Born in St. Louis, raised just outside St. Louis, played his college ball at Missouri State. He was the Nationals' first-round draft pick in 07. Prince Fielder batting for the first time today. .24 home runs, 46 driven in. And Fielder against a tough left-hander in the afternoon sun today. See the splits for Fielder this year. Most of his damage done against right-handed pitching. He excelled against left-handers last year. But it has been a different story this season for Prince. That's one of the reasons why his RBI numbers are down this season, although he's hit a ton of home runs. Second in the National League to start the day. In the biggest RBI moments, he is usually facing the best situational lefty the opposition has to offer.
No, and every team saves their left-hander or their best lefty in those situations from Prince. They come in and get Prince, and then they go out. Well, you look at the numbers for Prince Fielder, everything is pretty much where it should be, except for those RBI totals. A little bit down, 46 RBIs, but the home run total's there. On-base percentage, around 400. But he's starting to drive in some runs.
In tight, and that'll be ball 4. So Fielder draws the walk. He does lead the National League in that category. He's tied with Albert Pujols in walks. That's number 65 of the year.
They're trying to come in on him, and Prince almost started for it, but able to hold up.
So 2 on in this first inning. And Casey McGehee with a chance to do some damage. Escobar with great speed at second base. He'll score on a base hit to the outfield. Casey hitting at .269. 13 home runs, 55 driven in. The Brewers did not take batting practice on the field today. It was optional BP, and the only taker was Casey McGehee.
Yeah, if there's somebody throwing batting practice, Casey McGee's going to be involved. That's right. That's as sure as the day is long. Casey's going to grab a bat and take some hacks.
So they staged the field. They rolled the entire bucket of balls out to the mound. Dale Swayman, full uniform, and had one guy to throw to today. Jim Edmonds' young son also took a little batting practice with the wiffle ball.
Oh, there you go.
So Casey wasn't all by himself.
Right. Had some company. Brewers had optional batting practice Friday. And came up with a nice come-from-behind victory.
That was the 7-5 win on Friday night. Courtesy of a Jim Edmonds 2-run home run in the 7th inning of that game. Last night the Brewers winning in their final at-bat 4-3. John Axford picked up the win. After he blew the save, he earned his 6th win. 6-1 is Axford. And Drew Storen took the loss. Count goes full to McGehee. So the runners will get a head start. And some action early for the Brewers in the first inning. Axford is not available today. Cameron Lowe is.
And it could be a day where Trevor Hoffman gets an opportunity to pick up a save.
We might hear Hell's Bells again at Miller Park. Runners go. That one's way inside. McGehee draws the walk. The bases are loaded.
Yeah, 2 walks already for Detwiler. You figured a little bit nervous. It's been since last year since he's been in the big leagues. And in 7 of his 8 minor league starts, he walked 1 or fewer batters. So he's got tremendous control, but I would imagine a little bit of jitters out there, a little bit amped up, I would imagine, and he's already walked 2 in the inning. Brewers still haven't picked up a hit, an error, and 2 walks. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs.
So some pressure pitches coming up here in the first. Meanwhile, upstairs at the Kid Zone, not a lot of pressure going on. Just fun. Everybody's having fun. That's a friendly clown. Sometimes clowns can be they can shake up a young one.
Yeah, well, not just a young one.
Not here. That's right. So Lucroy will get a chance to drive in some runs. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Lucroy had a big hit last night. He put the Brewers on top with a double and an RBI in the 6th inning. Got down on the count, 2 strikes, came back, and he hammered one off the center field wall to give the Brewers the lead. A bouncing ball foul. Well, last night, as much as he's concentrating on his defense, and boy, did he wear a few last night, and he blocked a number of pitches. It was a night for the ice bucket after that game.
He did a tremendous job, and he drove in a run. A couple of base hits, a big double off of Batista on a 2-strike pitch, giving the Brewers a late lead.
Oh, 0-2. Escobar reached on an error, and then back-to-back walks to Fielder and McGee. And Detweiler in trouble in this 1st inning, but he has 2 outs. And now ahead of Lucroy, no balls, 2 strikes. The young catcher, rookie Jonathan Lucroy, called up at the end of May. He's 24 years of age. He'll always remember the 2010 season as it pertains to Milwaukee because of his career and his rookie year. But maybe more importantly, Milwaukee is the place that he got married. He was married here last month. He said he and his fiancee were planning a marriage in Nashville this year. And since he got called up to the big leagues, they said, well, we might as well make it Milwaukee. So what a connection that'll be for the rest of his life.
Not going on for the young man in 1 year, huh?
He's learning how to catch at the big leagues, learning all the opposing hitters. Just trying to keep his head above water. And oh yeah, he's married now. It seems like he handles it all with poise.
Good kid. He's the guy you root for. Works hard.
He's even to count at 2-2. And he fights off a sweeping curveball.
And Detweiler got away with one right there. That was a hanger. 30 pitches already for Detweiler. Still no base hits. That's a very hittable curveball right there.
Lucroy slashes one to right. That's a base hit. Escobar will score. They'll hold Fielder as Lucroy delivers.
Oh, a nice hit back for Jonathan Lucroy. Got down in the count early, fought off some pitches, had some pitches to hit, fouled them off, and got a fastball out away from first hit of the inning for the Brewers, and takes it into right field. Good piece of hitting. Fastball in the outside corner and down. That's a good hit, good pitch. And Lucroy goes down and gets it. And the Brewers take an early lead. Good battle for Lucroy that he won.
Down 0-2 early, comes back with an RBI hit in the 1st inning, and it gives the Brewers a 1-0 lead. Now Gomez is up with the bases full. And already bullpen activity for the Nationals. Miguel Bautista. A short start yesterday for Jim Riggleman. J.D. Martin went just 2 1/3. And he is now on the disabled list with a bulging disc in his back. That one skips away from Rodriguez. Here comes Fielder. He'll score easily. It's a wild pitch, and it's 2-0 Brewers.
Well, Rodriguez tried to short hop it with the glove. We saw him do that a couple of times in last night's ball game and was able to catch it. Risky business with a man at third base, not trying to get down and block it. Tries to backhand it, goes off the arm and over toward that Nationals dugout. So another run for Milwaukee.
Yeah, with all due respect of a Hall of Fame career, multiple Gold Gloves, multiple All-Star appearances, that's a play that a catcher has to make with a runner at third. You've got to block it.
Wasn't that tough a block either.
Two balls and a strike on Gomez. Carlos Gomez and Jim Edmonds have been playing a game of topper the last couple of days defensively. Gomez on Friday night made one of the best catches of the year, maybe the best, until the catch that Jim Edmonds made last night. Two center fielders going about it in much different ways. And very impressive, both of them. They're going to go ahead and walk Gomez with a 3-1 count to face the left-hander Joe Inglet. So the bases are loaded again. 2 runs are in. And the mighty Joe with a chance to open it up here in the first inning.
Yeah, that catch for Edmonds last night, he plays shallow. How many of those do you think he has on his highlight reel? 20, 30?
Yeah, at least.
At least.
But how many of those does he have as a 40-year-old on his highlight reel?
That's right, with a bad Achilles.
Here's what we're talking about. Take you back to Friday. Gomez lays out, and look, the baseball almost pops out. And now watch the catch by Jim Edmonds yesterday. Very similar play, and there's the snow cone at the end of that glove, and he was able to hang on, and it turned into a double play that ended the inning.
A bases clearing double, maybe triple, turned into a sac fly and a double play.
Right.
A difference maker last night.
Second consecutive start for England. Batting with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Look out over there. We saw a scary line drive last night in the major leagues in Arizona. Pat Burrell slashed one into the first base dugout in Arizona. He hit his teammate Eugenio Velez in the head.
Yeah.
And Velez still under observation. He went to the hospital last night.
Even when you're watching the game and you're keeping your eye on the game, sometimes those foul balls come back so fast you don't have time to do much.
What you like about the dugouts here at Miller Park, they have the nets in front of the rails, and if you're sitting on the top step, you can get down, and otherwise, unlike in Arizona, you're not exposed when you're down walking in the dugout. It's below sea level, if you will. A little safer dugout here. 3-1 to count on England.
Jetlau about ready to come out of this ball game. He's already got 40 pitches, 22 balls, 18 strikes.
And for a man coming off off-season surgery, making his major league debut, the leash is short, you would imagine. There's a strike. It's 3-2.
Yeah, good take for Joe Inglet, a pitch away from him. Make him throw 2 strikes.
Runners go. Inglet fouls it off again. Joe had a terrific night last night, rewarding his manager for the start. 2 hits. He was on base 3 times. He drew a key walk in the 9th inning that put Weeks into scoring position for Braun's dramatic ending. Inglet tripled and singled last night. 2 for 4 with a walk. The 3-2. Runners go. Inglet fouls it away.
3-2, 2 outs. runners on the move. Lucroy is going to have to pick it up a little bit because Gomez, he is off and running. He might lap him. Gomez about at second base by the time that ball gets to the hitting zone. He's ready to go.
Another 3-2, and Englert in the air to the outfield, playable for Morgan. And the Brewers strand the bases loaded. They get two. There was a costly error for the Nationals, but the Brewers have the early lead here today. Early lead here this afternoon. As we head to the second, Corey Hart will miss another start here today. This is the injury he suffered on Friday, the right hand. He jammed that thumb, which led to an injured wrist. And we had a chance to visit with Corey Hart about his injury and his expected return.
Yeah, a bad bruise, jammed up pretty good. So hopefully I can play the next series. I'm sure the next couple of days I won't be able to do a whole lot, but I mean, it's still swollen right now, so I won't be able to tell for a while. But hopefully, only 3 games that maybe I missed, so we'll see. It's one of those things that every day to day, and hopefully it feels better each day, and I can come out before we leave.
That's Corey Hart, and the thoughts on that injury. And it was a scary injury, but fortunate that the X-rays that night and then the MRI yesterday came up with no significant damage and no disabled list for Corey Hart. We're sending it down to Drew Olson with more on the Corey Hart injury situation.
Well, B.A., before the game, Ken Maka told us that Corey Hart made dramatic progress. Those were the words he used from last night to today. He's available for pinch running duty today. He hasn't swung a bat yet, so he's not ready to return to the lineup. But they said that Ken Maka told us that if Hart makes a similar leap, it would be a good sign tomorrow.
So, Drew, let me get this straight. You got Jim Edmonds, who can hit but can't run. And you've got Corey Hart, who can run but can't hit. That sounds like a complete major league ball player right there.
There you go.
Yeah, Corey says he doesn't have much problem, playing the outfield. He can actually throw the baseball, but the only thing he cannot do is grip the bat, swing the bat. That right wrist, thumb area is that's tough when you have that top hand that's giving you problems. Nothing worse than wrist and hand injuries for a baseball player.
There's a strike called on the inside corner. Bernardina disagrees with Jerry Meals, but Dave Bush has his 3rd strikeout already.
Now 2 of them looking, both on fastballs on the inside corner to 2 left-handers. Got Adam Dunn on a changeup. I promise you that ball will get to home plate at some point. Right on the inside corner. You can't walk it across any better than that.
No.
Too bad that when you're hitting it doesn't look that slow.
No. It does for some guys, though.
Yeah, it does. That's right. The good ones.
For Bill Schroeder in his day, it was actually sped up.
Yeah, a little bit faster, and the ball looked like an aspirin tablet coming in. But I had fun trying.
Yeah. Mrs. Haverkamp right there. Popped up to McGee. Waves everybody off. Almost in his tracks. Makes a catch for out number 2.
Hey, if you're traveling this season, take the Brewers with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Brewers game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Brewers.com to order and to get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere.
Two outs for Bush in the second. And it's Adam Kennedy. Kennedy, the former Angel, part of that World Series team back in '02, also a member of the Cardinals. Saw Kennedy last night come in on a double switch. I think almost the entire Nationals roster was involved in a double switch at some point in the series. It looked like a spring training game yesterday.
Yeah, every position player used and every pitcher in the bullpen except 3. Still haven't seen Matt Capps, which is always a good thing. Their closer. Made the All-Star team this year, so that's a good guy to not have in the game. Closer for the opposition.
Back-to-back wins for the Brewers in this series. The 2-1. Fouled away, 2-2. The only 2 players that started yesterday's game that actually finished the game was Josh Willingham and Ryan Zimmerman. Everybody else in different positions, bouncing around, and that's what happens when you get a short start. J.D. Martin left the game with a back injury, placed on the disabled list today. Ricky Weeks bobbles, and that is going to be an error. So instead of a 3-up, 3-down inning, Dave Bush still at work in the second after Weeks commits the E4.
Ricky has been playing such a good second base and about as routine as it gets. A couple of steps up the middle and the ball goes right through him. The errors, as a player, that just drive you nuts. It's not a concentration thing. He just missed it. He was in position. He got in front of it. And just booted it.
That's Weeks' 9th error this year. The last time Dave Bush was on the mound, errors hurt him badly. That was part of that 9-run first inning against the Pirates. The Brewers committed 3 errors in that inning. Dave Bush had one of those errors, a throwing error on a pickoff.
Yeah, 5 unearned runs, and you're not going to win many games when you give up that many unearned runs.
Runner goes. Lucroy doesn't bother with a throw. Pitch called a ball. So Kennedy into second with a stolen base.
And Jonathan knew that Kennedy had a great jump. He didn't even bother worrying about making the throw and stays still for the umpire and hopes to get the call.
Instead, it's a steal. Did not get the call, so the count is even at a ball and a strike on Ian Desmond, the National shortstop. Jammed him. And Escobar makes a play, fires in time, and the inning is over. So the error does not hurt Dave Bush.
The Nationals 2-0 heading into the bottom of the second. Let's get caught up with some news and notes from around baseball. Maglio Ordonez fractured his right ankle sliding into the plate last night. He's going to miss 6 to 8 weeks. That hurts the Tigers, who've already lost Brandon Inge to injury. Alex Rodriguez just grounded out in the 5th inning of the Yankees game. He's looking for his 600th homer. And the Hall of Fame ceremonies are going on in Cooperstown today. Andre Dawson going in. And, guys, Ken Maka talked a lot about his former teammate before the game. He's very happy for him.
Yeah, they played a couple of years together in Montreal, the Hawk and Ken Maka. As Dave Bush skies one on the first pitch for the first out in this second inning. And also on that Hall of Fame note, the Ford C. Frick Award winner is John Miller, and we want to congratulate John Miller, our colleague, the San Francisco Giants radio announcer, and of course the voice of Sunday Night Baseball. He is going in a deserving honor for John Miller, who is now Hall of Famer John Miller. Congratulations to him as well.
Yeah, but Joe Morgan, his partner, is going to be introducing him to the Hall of Fame. A Hall of Famer in his own right, Joe, as a player. Doug Harvey, Major League umpire, going in, and Whitey Herzog.
Well, Drew, the Hall of Fame, it's a great moment. Of course, we always remember when Bob Uecker was inducted into the Hall of Fame as well. One of the great speeches of all time.
That's right. I was lucky enough to be there. One of the things Ken Maka said about Hawks' induction today is he's wondering if it's the last time the Montreal Expos will be celebrated as a franchise. They just disappear into the ether. I mean, the Nationals are here building their own history.
Very good point. And a former Expo would know that very well in Ken Maka. Those Expos. By the way, Alex Rodriguez 1 for 2 today. As Drew mentioned, he grounded out in his last at bat, but he does have a double and an RBI as the Yankees lead the Royals 5-3 in the 5th inning. Ricky Weeks takes a called strike 3, and down he goes for the second time. So 2 outs in the inning. Detweiler with his second strikeout. And here comes the rookie shortstop Escobar. Detweiler giving up 2 runs in the first. Both unearned.
And I think one pitch out of the strike zone away from getting yanked out of that ball game. Had bases loaded, 3-1 count on Joe Inglet. And had he walked another batter, he might have been gone. There's activity already in that bullpen. So the fact that he was able to get Inglet, now he's starting to settle down a bit.
A 44 pitch first inning, so it's going to be a short start anyway. The Brewers do get 2. Detweiler projects to be a strong number 2 or a number 3 starter. Matter of fact, the Washington Nationals moving forward here with their pitching, with Steven Strasburg as their ace, feel very good about 2 of their young pitchers coming back from injury. Ross Detweiler today, and Jordan Zimmerman, the Wisconsin native, coming back probably in the month of August, coming back from Tommy John surgery. So you put Strasburg and Detweiler and Zimmerman together in the starting rotation. Then you put Drew Storen, the guy we saw last night, in as the closer eventually, you figure. And this Washington ball club, with the kind of offense that they have, you can see their organization starting to come together under Mike Rizzo, their general manager.
Well, their team earned run average of 422, much better this year than it's been in the past.
Escobar, a little lazy fly ball to right. Bernardina makes the catch, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Ross Detweiler. 2-0 Crew. We're on our way to the 3rd at Miller Park. Park, and we are pleased to be joined now by Jim Edmonds down in the Brewers dugout. Jim, thanks for joining us. Just right away, I want to make sure we got this straight. Now, did you announce your retirement yesterday?
I said I was going to play the next 8 weeks or 9 weeks, like it was going to be my last. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm leaning that way, but we'll see.
We're a little sensitive about that here in Wisconsin, of course. There's a guy named Brett Favre that kind of went through that with. So
well,
when you say things like that,
it,
we're ready. All right. Well,
that's why I never announce it. I don't want to be one of those guys that comes back and forth. When I'm done, I'm sure I'm going to be done.
Okay. Well, Jim Edmonds joining us here through this inning, and of course, Jim missed last season and is back, and you're getting heckled over there.
Yeah, these guys they need to grow up.
Jimmy, talk about the Achilles. How does it feel? And did you do it on the catch or going to third base yesterday?
No, I did it about 2 months ago, and it's funny. It started off being my left one, and I was limping on it for a couple of days, actually a couple of weeks, and playing with it, and thought no big deal, and kept playing, and it went to my right one, and now the right one's been getting really bad. It's been about a month now, and I've been kind of hobbling along, but when I'm running on the grass out there, I can kind of manage it and run, and the bases has been really tough, and yesterday I tried to take that extra base, and it got me a little bit.
Hey, Jimmy, talk about that catch last night. Tremendous catch. Where does that rank on your many highlight reel catches in your career?
It feels pretty good. I don't know where I would rank it. It's nice that I made a catch like that when I'm 40, because everybody's been telling me I'm too old to play for the last 2 or 3 years. So, it's a tough play because the ball was down, and my whole game is reading the play. And when the ball's low, I expect it to be hit low on the line or probably in front of me. And I kind of had to wait a second. Didn't realize how hard the ball was hit. So I had to last little burst of energy, a little speed, and make the play, and it barely stuck in my glove. So I was pretty happy that it stayed in.
Well, it is by far the best catch by a 40-year-old that we've seen all season.
Well, that's good. I don't think there's too many guys running around out there that are 40. They're all throwing pitches.
Some kind of play as Morgan sends one deep to right. Englert is there, and that is the second out. And Jim, earlier today it was a great moment here. We didn't have a chance to capture it because it was so early, but you were out here with your young son, and you're throwing in batting practice with the wiffle ball. And how much of that is a part of why you want to continue to play, to kind of pass that legacy on to him?
Yeah, I felt bad. It was one of the reasons why I didn't want to play this year. I wanted to play last year, obviously, but I really wanted to play again to show him what his dad did. I spent a lot of time with the McGuire family, and his boys don't know him as a baseball player. They know him as a golfer and a dad, and I thought that was pretty sad considering he was one of the best home run hitters of all times. And I just wanted my son to kind of see it. He got a little bit of it in Chicago, but he was still so young. 2.5 is a little young for him to remember, but he's eating it up now. He's in the clubhouse with the boys. He thinks he's one of us, so hopefully he'll remember this forever. And if I play next year, he'll be a little bit older. It'll be more fun, but if not, this is going to be a great opportunity for him to see what his dad did, and hopefully he'll remember.
Great. Well, it was great to see you today. Before we let you go, are you available today to hit?
Yes, I'm always available. It doesn't matter. I'm available to do whatever it takes. And if I'm not on the DL, I'm going to be running out there all as much as I can.
All right, Jim. Thanks for your time today. We appreciate your insights and enjoyed watching you play.
Thank you.
All right, that is Jim Edmonds. Need to let him get back to work here in the dugout.
That's good stuff about he and his son.
And that is really, behind the scenes. And when you are with the ball club like we are every day, we get to see that part of it. But it is an open clubhouse for the young sons of the Brewers players. And there is that group of teammates, kids of the big league players that have their own little thing going down there. And it is fun to watch. Coming in.
Nice try, pal. He had it. How your hands feel now? Be honest.
It's all right.
Can you feel them?
Oh, it's good. I dropped it.
No, you can't feel your hands right now.
I dropped it.
You want somebody to write down your
scorebook now? No, it's fine.
Now?
It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
But I dropped the ball.
Renee, can you get some ice?
Bush strikes out Willie Harris, and the inning ends. And an error on the play-by-play announcer.
Ice.
on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin, and by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. Ryan Braun ready to lead off as the Brewers lead at 2-0. Braun flew out in the first inning, actually a pop-up to second base in that first inning. That one is scalded down to third, but Willie Harris stays in front and makes the play. So out number one here in the third. We check in with Drew Olson.
Well, BA, I'm here with Tyler Barnes, the Brewers Vice President of Communications. And Tyler, your ball club is not the only thing that's winning. The fans are winning as well this weekend. Tell us about that.
Right, we're bringing back Brewers Win, You Win, which I think last year was the first time we did it. For every win on this homestand, people are going to get an opportunity to get $6 off a field outfield ticket. So if we win 6 games on this homestand, you could be looking at a $4 ticket for an upcoming series. So pay attention. Hopefully we have a great homestand here.
Now, Tyler, we also have a community night coming up, and it's involving Fox Sports Wisconsin.
We do, and we can't thank Fox enough for this. I think it's probably, hopefully, the first time it's ever been done where it's a commercial-free telecast to highlight all the good things that are done in the community, both by Fox and the Brewers Community Foundation. But just as exciting, we're putting on an auction with some really interesting items. You can bid on things like coaching first base at a spring training game, a pitching clinic with Trevor Hoffman, some things like that you'll never see anywhere else. So we're excited.
So instead of commercials, Rock and BA are going to entertain song and dance numbers. Is that the deal, Rock?
We'll tap dancing.
Whatever it takes. I mean, we'll do it. We're very good at tap dancing. We've done it before.
Ask Tyler what his suggestions are. He's our boss.
Tyler, what do you suggest those guys do?
I think we're trying to get people to watch. We don't want to turn them off. So remember, brevity, guys.
That's a nice way to kind of move on with that. Yeah. That's going to be a fun broadcast, so I'm looking forward to that.
That's why he's a good boss. I mean, he has a way with words.
Tyler Barnes with Drew Olson. August 9th is the charity game that I beg your pardon, the 10th, August 10th, against the Arizona Diamondbacks. 2 men are out. Casey McGee is up against Detweiler, who has settled down since that rocky first inning. He threw 44 pitches in the first inning. The Brewers with 2 runs, but stranded the bases loaded. Detweiler has retired the side in order since. That is 7 in a row for the young lefty. To the 4th we go. 2-0 Brewers. Dave Bush back on the mound. Get interactive with us. Text your answers to 234-234. And this week's question, which team is the most surprising this season? W for the White Sox, X for the Reds, Y for the Rangers, Z for the Padres. All brought to you by U.S. Cellular.
And if you're interested as to who's going to win that text to vote, you got to tune in to Brewers Live postgame. You get that and an instructional from Jerry and I tonight.
What do you got going on?
We're going to talk about the Corey Hart injury and that wall down there in right field.
Who's going to be playing the role of Corey Hart?
That will be Jerry.
So we'll need a glove and a ball and a bucket of ice.
I'll be playing the role of Roger Kaplinger, and I'll be taping him up afterwards.
Josh Willingham leads off for the Nationals. Well, all kidding aside, Ken Macha has a pretty thin bench at his disposal here today. He's got Jim Edmonds, who we interviewed a moment ago, and Edmonds says he can hit. Matter of fact, Jim said he could do anything, but he's not running well, so Macha will take that in mind. You know Corey Hart can run, probably play the outfield if need be, but he can't hold a bat. As Willingham skies one, fielder wants it. He's got it for out number one. Well, you can be a part of the NBA's most exciting dance team. The Milwaukee Bucks are hosting auditions for this season's Energy Dance Team and looking for the most energetic, enthusiastic dancers in Wisconsin. Auditions are Tuesday, July 27th. That's this coming Tuesday. Click on the events link at foxsportswisconsin.com for more information. On the injury front, Mike Vasallo passed along a note that outfielder Jody Garrett will begin a rehab assignment tonight for the Arizona Brewers in the Phoenix area. They play the Mariners in Peoria. So Jody Garrett, with that heel injury, is hopefully on his way back. Macha did say in a pinch Alcides Escobar could play the outfield. We've seen him out there once this year. But ideally, he'd like to keep things the way they are and not have to make that move. That obviously would mean Counsell would come in at the shortstop position and Escobar would go to right. That's in case of an injury to a guy like Inglett or Gomez.
Hey, just don't even think about that right now. How about that heel injury for Jody Garrett, though? I mean, what was thought to be maybe a day-to-day type thing and maybe a 2-week DL, he's been out a while.
Yeah.
Really taken a long time to recover from that heel.
I saw Jody right before the All-Star break, and his dauber was down. He's frustrated. Players get so anxious when they can't participate, especially a guy like Jody Garrett, who's so conscious about his role on the team and being available. So hopefully he's on his way back. Adam Dunn, they swing and a miss, and again Dave Bush pulls the string on him to strike him out.
Yeah, 5 strikeouts now for Bushy. Boy, he's doing a nice job keeping the ball down. That changeup's been a good pitch for him. Very important to throw that changeup. 5 left-handed position players in the lineup for the Nationals, and there's another one. Down below the knees on the outer half, exactly where you want a changeup.
He has struck out Dunn twice on that changeup, and with 5 Ks, faces Roger Bernardina here with 2 away.
Is it too early to talk about Bush's success against Adam Dunn in his career?
We showed that when we put the Nationals lineup on the board.
So I guess I'm not going to be the jinx.
No, it's public. Well, actually, that's pinned to Michael Vetter, tonight's producer.
3 for 20, including the 2 strikeouts today.
Yeah, 10 strikeouts total. Adam Dunn in 20 at-bats. Bernardina pops it up. Long run for Escobar. Here comes Braun. Escobar calls and catches. And the inning is over. 3 up, 3 down for Bush. He's retired 7 in a row.
Suggs. Good start for the Brewers to the game. Actually, they scored a couple of runs in the first inning on only one base hit. 3 walks by Detweiler. There's a wild pitch that gets by Ivan Rodriguez to score run number 2. And in the meantime, Dave Bush has been outstanding. And Bush has given up 1 hit, a couple of base runners, and 5 strikeouts through 4 innings.
Detweiler back on the mound as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Jonathan Lucroy leads off. The Cousins Subs game reset 2-0 through 3.5 at this point. Detweiler has retired 7 straight since a 44-pitch first inning. Lucroy had an RBI single in that first inning and has driven in a couple of runs the last 2 days. You see Lucroy, his right thumb, he still has that protective pad on that thumb that he uses during his at-bats. Had an injury to that thumb on the last homestand against the Giants. He got Tim Lincecum, you could say. Got sawed off by Lincecum 95-mile-an-hour fastball and actually knocked him out of the lineup for the Pittsburgh series.
Yeah. Well, not the first guy to get jammed by Lincecum. It won't be the last. A little rubber thing that you slide around your thumb that protects that nerve that goes from your thumb into your hand. When you get jammed a couple of times, that thing just blows up, swells up. You really can't grip the bat. That little rubber protector helps you a bit. But it takes getting used to because it affects the grip on the bat.
Lucroy down the left field line. That's a fair ball and a base hit. So Jonathan Lucroy with a couple of hits in this game today.
That changeup up in the strike zone, and Lucroy with another 2-strike base hit. 1 to right, 1 to left.
How about our AT&T trivia question this afternoon? Name the first player in Nationals franchise history inducted into the Hall of Fame. And remember, we're talking franchise history here, so the Nationals go back to the Expos prior to their move to Washington. They've been in Washington, D.C. since 2005. They played their games at RFK Stadium until the 2008 season. Washington had an American League ball club until 1972. The Senators, the Washington Senators, moved to Texas, became the Texas Rangers. They went 33 years without Major League Baseball in our nation's capital, but they were one of the founding American League teams, the Senators. They went to Minnesota in '61. The new version of the Senators ended up going to Texas. You get the idea. Every time they got a team in D.C., they'd lose it.
Right.
So they're hoping this version of the big league baseball team in Washington, D.C. stays.
I have a feeling it's going to work this time. Got a good nucleus of young players, good pitchers, Steven Strasburg, and these guys draw some attention. They got a decent offense. We've been talking about that the last few days, and got some home run power. Got some guys that can run, and their pitching's really started to come around. The last few years, they've always been right at the bottom of the league in team earned run average. That's starting to creep up this year.
Did that hit Gomez, or is that a foul ball? Called a foul ball by Jerry Meals. Yep, right off the bat. It's a good try, though. You never know. Sometimes you'll get that call. Runner goes. Gomez takes one inside. No throw by Rodriguez as Jonathan Lucroy, the Brewer catcher, steals the base.
He's got that going for him. You can say he stole a base on Ivan Rodriguez. Third stolen base this year. Rodriguez, for his career, 40% throwing out base runners. That's terrific.
And a base hit, and the Brewers add to their lead. It's 2-0 Crew as we play in the bottom of the 4th. Now Gomez down on strikes. That big curveball from Detweiler. Third strikeout for Ross Detweiler.
That's a sharp breaking curveball right there. He's got two different ones. He's got one that he throws a little bit bigger and slower. There's the 2-strike put away curveball.
Ross Detweiler had hip surgery in February, the same surgery that Alex Rodriguez had 2 years ago. The torn labrum. You hear about the labrum in the shoulder a lot with pitchers, but there's also the labrum in the hip, and that's what Detweiler had to have repaired. He was drafted in 07. He actually appeared in a big league game in 07 for the Nationals, and then returned to the big leagues last year. Detweiler was in the major leagues from May to July last year, and then at the end of the season as a September call-up.
Yep, 1-6 last year with a 5.00 earned run average. And Detweiler actually working today on 3 days rest. He pitched in the minor leagues on Thursday, so short rest for Detweiler, and may very well be the reason why he had a slow start today.
2-0 to England. Detweiler's matchup against England in the first inning, probably the reason he's still in the game. It looked like at the time, because Riggleman had Miguel Bautista loosening in the bullpen, that he was one batter away from being chased in the first inning. But England flew out to center field and stranded the bases loaded, and Detweiler still on the mound. And there is Miguel Bautista again loosening in the bullpen. And a called strike 3. England is rung up.
That big curveball. That's that big loopy curveball we were talking about. Different pitch than the one Gomez struck out on. And look at Rodriguez reach. Looked like he might have wrapped around that inside corner, but Jerry Meals gives him the call.
Well, 2 outs. That's a big out for Detweiler with Dave Bush coming up, the Brewer pitcher.
Usually you don't get a call like that on a borderline pitch when the catcher is setting up outside and he has to reach on the inside corner. Umpire normally won't give it to you. You miss by that much.
Bush, a bouncer to short, and it's bobbled by Desmond, but it gets away. Dunn could not scoop it. Lucroy will score. And a costly error by Ian Desmond. It's 3-0 Milwaukee as Dave Bush ends up at second base.
That'll be a double error. First of all, it's going to be an error on Desmond, allowing Bush to get the first, and then the throwing error to allow him to get to second base. Two mistakes defensively that time. First of all, Desmond bobbling a routine ground ball. Then you see Adam Dunn, instead of scooping that baseball, he's got to get in front of it and make sure that he keeps in front of him. There's one error. And there's two, I think. Or did they call it one error?
Well, at this point, just one on the board, but obviously.
Well, they had three on the board initially, and then they took one off. I guess the thinking being that the bobble wasn't an error because he still had time to get the runner.
Still had a chance at a play.
And then the throwing error, that's the error that they're going to give. The error to allow Bush to get to second base, so no RBI for Bush.
And the 23rd error for Ian Desmond at the shortstop position.
Yeah, there was initially 3 errors on the scoreboard.
So none of these runs are earned against Detweiler, but they all count. It's 3-0 Brewers. Bush at second, and Weeks takes one a little bit low.
But if you're a first baseman in that situation, you've got a man that could be potentially coming around. You got to come off the bag and just get in front of it. Not worry so much about the out. You got to make sure that that run doesn't score. So 2 mistakes by the defense by the Nationals.
Weeks hammers one deep left field. That is way back and gone. Ricky Weeks with a 2-run home run. And the Brewers have a 5-0 lead as Weeks belts his 20th of the year.
I'm not messing around that time. Early in the count, picking up a high fastball and knocking it into the second deck. After a couple of strikeouts for Ricky, here it is. Actually breaking ball up in the zone. Looked like a slider. Hasn't thrown many of those today. That one ends up in the seats.
Powerball home run number 24 Weeks. The most productive leadoff hitter in the game.
2 more RBIs for Ricky.
Gives him 64 for the season. And by the way, the Brewers have now homered in 14 consecutive games. Detweiler is out. Back to the bullpen goes Riggleman. The Brewers up 5-0 here in the 4th.
Obviously didn't do anything to him last night. He was more worried about getting up than staying down on the ground and waiting for trainers to come out. Not what we call an ambulance searcher. He got hit in the face with the same kind of fastball. Obviously didn't do anything to him last night. He was more worried about getting up than staying down on the ground and waiting for trainers to come out. He's not what we call an ambulance searcher. If he's hurt, he's going to come off, but nobody's really going to know it half the time. And we love Ricky for that. Everything he's done, the adversity he's gone through. He's just one of the mentally strong guys you'll ever be around, and obviously tough.
That's exactly what we've been talking. Remember last year when he tore the sheath in his wrist again? I mean, he had one on one hand and then the other wrist, and really wasn't telling anybody, but it was obvious that there was something wrong with Ricky Weeks. Ricky Weeks, one of those guys that finds ways to stay in the game as opposed to finding ways to stay out of the game. And that's what his teammates respect most about Ricky Weeks.
Now Miguel Bautista is back in the ball game. Bautista pitched yesterday, an inning and a third, as a matter of fact. And he's back in there again today. He was up in the first inning, so he got completely loose and ready to enter the game in the first inning. He was probably a batter away from entering the game. And here he is in the 4th after Weeks' home run chases Ross Detweiler.
Yeah,
5-0.
Talking about the Montreal Expos, here's a guy that pitched for the Expos. Bautista, 98 through the 2000 season, so he's been around a long time.
Adam Dunn will make the play. And the side is retired. So Escobar retired, but not before the Brewers get 3. And it's 5-0 Crew as we go to the 5th. All those runs unearned, but they all count. Ricky Weeks with a 2-run homer that chases Ross Detweiler. Say you can go to foxsportswisconsin.com to see exclusive videos shot by Patricia Gallardo, wife of Brewers starter Yovani Gallardo. She shot all this footage at the Brewers Wives Mystery Brown Bag event. They raised nearly $30,000 yesterday here at the ballpark. Great job by the Brewers Wives, raising a lot of money for charity. Excellent videography from Patricia Gallardo. You know, we have some folks here that shoot some of our interviews and what have you. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but guys like Michael Odino that probably could go and take a little lesson, perhaps.
I was going to see how far you're going to bury yourself here.
Pudge Rodriguez grounds out.
Dino is, he's a jack of all trades. He walks around before the game with his little camcorder, and it's like shooting home movies.
Yeah.
Like
home movies with the Brewers.
Quality, though, for Dino, exceptional.
It's hard to talk.
I personally don't think he needs to take any pointers from anybody, but you must be, you have your own opinion, I'm sure.
Hard to talk when you're being yelled at.
Speaking of lessons,
Dwayne Rodriguez on the Exmo today. That's the super slow-mo camera you see from center field. It's probably got a rerun of Days of Our Lives going, too, at the same time. Look how slow he's moving.
See, no hands. Dwayne F. Rodriguez. He's been around here a long time. Middle initial changes all the time. But.
Just one of the many of our great crew that work here in Milwaukee, bringing you the sights and the sounds. Jesse is all the way up there in Bernie's deck.
Jesse's our post-game instructional photojournalist.
There's
Rick. It's fun to get home, and they're a big reason why.
What's great about our crew, they love the Brewers. They love the team. Stan Quinn. Big Jeff. Hi home. Tip your cap. Take a bow. Swing and a miss. Dave Bush with 6 strikeouts now. Boy, he's having a great day on the mound. AT&T Trivia. First player in Nationals franchise history inducted into the Hall of Fame. And the answer would be Gary Carter as an Expo in 2003, the first and only until the Hawk, Andre Dawson, today.
That was an easy one, actually. One of our easier trivia questions in recent games. They've been tough this year, actually. Who do you think is the most famous Montreal Expo? Would you say Gary Carter or Rusty Staub?
I would say
somebody else.
I would say Gary Carter. I would say Andre Dawson as well.
Rusty Staub anywhere in there for you?
Not really for me.
No?
The Grand Orange.
No, he's not, huh? You're too young to remember.
How about Vladimir Guerrero?
I really don't think of him as a Montreal Expo anymore. And not Adam Dunn.
Good cut and a miss. Dave Bush cruising right along through 5. He's working on a one-hit shutout. 5-0 Brewers. Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. And by Airtran. Go, there's nothing stopping you.
And today's time of the game winner is Bourbonese Pub and Grill in Elkhorn. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy, as always, of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Well, Ryan Braun sends one to right, but right at Mike Morse. Yeah, the first out of the inning. Braun hit that one well. Bautista has his first out of the 5th inning. Came on to get the final out of the 4th. Check the Powerball home run leaderboard. Prince Fielder second in the league to start the day behind Joey Votto. And Corey Hart in there with 22. Ricky Weeks now with 20 from the leadoff spot. Boy, what a year Weeks is putting together. 20 home runs, 64 driven in.
RBI record for leadoff hitter. Well, we talked about Biggio yesterday, right? 88?
88 for the National League.
National League record, yeah.
And the RBI record overall is from the American League, and that's Darren Erstad with the Angels. We have an even 100. A lot fewer RBI opportunities for a National League leadoff hitter, considering the pitcher is in the spot in front of him once the lineup turns over.
Right. In the American League, you got the DH. You don't have that automatic out. Of course, the Brewer pitching staff hasn't been an automatic out this year.
That's one of the reasons why Weeks has so many RBIs.
Bottom of the order, getting on base.
Fielder's gone to his second pair of sunglasses.
He's got the amber ones on now.
He's got the and he's got the rifle range glasses on. He had the dark ones on early.
Those actually brighten things up and cut down the glare.
Three balls and a strike on Prince.
Now, before we go too much further, we need to mention Tim Raines, the Montreal Expos.
Yes.
You know, Mike Vassallo came flying in here between innings,
Violently defending Tim Raines.
chastising us for not mentioning his name right out of the gates. Not sure why he cares, but you know, we're going to throw it out there.
Fielder to the only infielder on the left side, Harris, and he makes a play for out number 2. That's a good call by Mike Vassallo. And but I'm still going with Gary Carter as I'd say the most. Your question was the most famous Montreal Expo,
right?
I don't think Tim Raines, while he may be on a short list, is the most famous.
I remember the first days of the Montreal Expos. Jerry Park.
Randy Johnson was an Expo. He came up in their minor league system.
Yeah.
How about Ken Maka as most famous former Expos? Had a couple of years in Montreal. Maka played with Andre Dawson, so he was excited for Dawson, for the Hawk, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. It took 9 years for Andre Dawson to get in. And the rumors are true about Andre Dawson. He actually went to the Chicago Cubs and gave him a blank check. Said, you fill it out at the end of the year for whatever you think I'm worth. And he was involved in a big collusion case in Major League Baseball after he had a great run in Montreal and then didn't get any offers his first year of free agency. McGee into left center. Willingham is on the run. He can't get it. It bounces off the wall. Casey McGee on his way to second base. And it's a double with 2 outs. McGee's first hit.
That was a hanging breaking ball from Miguel Bautista. Casey able to wait back long enough. It was up in the zone and hammers it into left field. Almost a carbon copy of that hanging slider that Jonathan Lucroy hit last night to give the Brewers a 3-2 lead late in the game. Up in the zone, and Casey able to wait back and hammer it.
So a base runner in scoring position for the Brewers, and here's Lucroy with a chance to drive in another run. Lucroy with an RBI single in the first. He singled, stole a base, and scored a run in the fourth. Lucroy now with 9 RBIs in 114 big league at bats this year, has a couple of home runs and a batting average that once again is pushing 300. He is at 298 after his 2 hits today. The most telling stat about Jonathan Lucroy, the Brewers team ERA when he catches is .399, an ERA under 4. That was a stat When I was in the minor leagues as a broadcaster in the Dodgers organization, Mike Scioscia, who was the catching coordinator at the time, he always asked us to keep that stat. All of the minor league broadcasters in the Dodgers system would keep the catcher's ERA form. It's a stat he believes in. And
a lot of that has to do with the pitchers that you're catching.
Right, if you're catching Giovanni Gallardo every fifth day, you're going to have pretty good numbers.
Yeah. But again, I mean, it's kind of a reflection of how he's been able to progress as a catcher, understanding his pitching staff, understanding the National League, and very limited opportunities in spring training. Didn't see much of the Brewers pitching staff.
A slow roller, Desmond gloves and fires in time. And the inning is over. So the Brewers get a double but stranded at second. We're on our way to the 6th inning, 5-0 Crew. Well, Ashley Kumlin is taking on what only 12 women have ever done, crossing the U.S. on foot, and she's doing it to raise awareness and money for multiple sclerosis. Follow Ashley on her journey, MS Run the U.S., learn about her plan, how to donate, and the nationwide tribute to her mother. Follow her trek by watching Bucks and Brewers baseball throughout the season and by logging on to foxsportswisconsin.com. And we'll hear again from Ashley Tuesday during Brewers Live. Michael Morse, a rocket over to McGee. That one ends up in left field. So Morse, who came in on the double switch, continues his hitting ways here in Milwaukee.
Now, how does Jim Riggleman keep this guy in the lineup? I really don't. I don't know how he sits the bench. He gets taken out. He's been taken out of the first 2 games of the series after getting 4 hits. Now his 5th hit, and this is a rocket off of Dave Bush. First pitch, got one up in the zone, and another base hit.
So a base runner for Washington, top of the order now, Nigel Morgan. Dave Bush, a season high 7 strikeouts this afternoon. His career high is 13. Did that against the Rockies a couple of years ago. That was back in July of 2008. This is one of his better starts of the season. See if he can get through the 3rd time of the batting order. Always a key for Dave Bush and any starting pitcher for that matter.
And he's got his best changeup of the year. He's thrown a lot of them. He's needed them because of all the left-handers in that Nationals lineup today. He's got 5 of them, and he's been throwing a changeup as much today as he has all year. That fastball right on the outside corner at the knees.
And a slow curve, and that is into center field, a base hit. So back-to-back hits for the Nationals. Nyjer Morgan with his first hit. And 2 on with nobody out for Willie Harris.
Yep, left the curveball up in the strike zone. That's a no-no with Nyjer Morgan. But 2 strikes, he's just looking to slap the ball somewhere. You give him something off speed up in the zone, you're really doing him a favor. You're best off staying hard in on his hands with 2 strikes.
So the best scoring opportunity the Nationals have had all day. Bush has given up just 3 hits. The first hit came in the first inning. Josh Willingham doubled. Bush retired 10 in a row. 13 out of 14 if you throw the error in there. The error by Weeks back in the second inning. Bouncing ball to Fielder. He bobbles now. He's got to hurry. And he makes it to the bag in time. Harris runs well. Fielder never panics, and he gets the out. Both runners advance.
And Prince wasn't too far behind the bag, so with the bobble, he was able to, grab it and wasn't too far to go to get to first base. I don't think the Brewers were convinced that Willie Harris might try and bunt for a base hit, so Prince able to get it. He's close to the bag and able to get the out on his own.
First out of the inning, and now the big sluggers are coming up for Washington. And this truly is the key spot in the ball game for Dave Bush. Willingham doubled against Bush in the first, and that one's hit hard into right center. Gomez is back, and Gomez will make the catch. The throw is coming into third base. The run will score. And a sacrifice fly at an RBI. The Brewers will gladly exchange the run for the out. 2 outs in the inning. The Nationals are on the board. It's 5-1 Brewers.
Yeah, you give up 2 base hits to start an inning with the top of the order coming up. I mean, you're doing well by just giving up 1 run. And Dave Bush 1 out away from stranding Nyjer Morgan over at third base. But he's got a tough customer at the plate in Adam Dunn.
Bush has struck out Dunn twice on changeups. You can understand why he'd be late on an 87-mile-an-hour fastball on the first pitch.
And that last one was right in his wheelhouse. That one snuck up on him.
Changing speeds and throwing strikes. That's the name of the game, and Bush has been able to do both today. Another fastball. That one missed.
Just about 2 strikes to every pitch out of the strike zone for Bushy today. 83 pitches. And 2 outs in the 6th.
Tried that changeup, and it's 2-1. Joel Peralta getting ready for the Nationals.
That pitcher spot is on deck.
That one is smoked into the gap. Deep left center. That's going to get down. It hits the wall. Another run is in. Morgan scores as Adam Dunn doubles with 2 outs. Check that. Singles with 2 outs, and it's 5-2.
Yeah, he got a fastball up out over the plate, and Dunn able to hit it hard into left center field. He hits it so hard off the wall that he can only get to first base. Dunn doesn't run all that well. Well, you would think, though, with a double, with a ball is hit hard as that one was off the wall, you'd get to second base. Dunn not able to do it. Nice short stroke. Gomez gets to it, plays it off the wall perfectly, and holds the big left-handed hitter to a single.
So the Nationals strike here against Dave Bush. 2 runs are in. That's the 3rd hit of the inning. And Riggleman goes to his bench with the pitcher spot coming up. Last night's starter at first base, Alberto Gonzalez, will bat for Washington. Two outs and a man on. Gonzalez, in limited play this year, has hit for a high average. He's hitting .293. Just 82 at-bats this season for Washington. Gonzalez is known as one of the better defenders in the infield in the Washington system, especially at third base, which is why they felt comfortable putting him at first base yesterday. He doesn't even own a first baseman's mitt. He used Adam Dunn's yesterday. He'd never been over there before. That one's hit hard left center field. Ryan Braun is over. Can't get this one. That's off the wall. Dunn is on his way to third. Gonzalez to second. And suddenly the Nationals are threatening here. 2 runs are in. The tying run is coming to the plate.
And now how important was it for Adam Dunn to be held to a single? A good play by Carlos Gomez, playing that ball off the wall that Dunn hit, held him to first base. That would have scored another run had Dunn been at first or at second base. Bush all of a sudden in this inning getting everything up in the zone. A cut fastball out over the plate, up. And Gonzalez hammers that one off the wall. So the Nationals, third time through the order, starting to put some pretty good swings on Dave Bush.
So Gonzalez, a pinch hit double. Cameron Lowe loosening quickly for the Brewers. Bush giving up his first 2 runs, facing Pudge Rodriguez, who hits one high in the air, right center. Back is Gomez at the wall. He's got it. Just enough to make the catch. The inning ends. The Nationals back in it. It's 5-2 Brewers. Brewers going after the sweep today. Dave Bush had a couple of bogeys in the 6th, but he has pitched well thus far today. He has 7 strikeouts, which ties a season high. A costly error by the Nationals. Matter of fact, the 5 runs on the board for the Brewers are all unearned runs. Weeks, his 20th home run of the year in the 4th inning that chased Ross Detweiler from this game. And the Sausages racing on a Sunday. Every Sunday, the Sausages hand off to the Little Weenies, which is always entertaining.
The cocktail weenie.
And that's when it's really on at that point.
Last homestand, one of them ran the wrong leg, right?
It's like Jimmy Pearsall. So always entertaining here at Miller Park.
And a good win for the hot dog today.
6th inning sausage races. Carlos Gomez will lead off. It is Joel Peralta in the game to pitch for Washington. In for Miguel Bautista. He starts him with a breaking ball for a strike. The numbers for Peralta.
Well, just came up. A .61 ERA, 13 strikeouts in just shy of 15 innings in his 13th game here this afternoon.
He was the closer down in Syracuse at AAA. The highest level in the Nationals organization in the International League.
Yep, 20 saves in 20 opportunities. Not bad. A 1.08 earned run average in AAA. Got called up on June 21st.
Gomez is 0 for 1, a walk and a strikeout. 5-2 Brewers, bottom of the 6th. He popped him up, Adam Dunn. And that's the first out. Carsoup.com email the booth question. Mike Dousman wants to know, why has Doug Davis not pitched since July 9th?
Had a strained elbow. Come off the disabled list with that heart condition, and made one start. Had some discomfort in that left elbow, and has been on the disabled list again. No new news on Double D.
That was the issue on the road trip. Chris Capuano made the start in place of Doug Davis, and that was what was so great about Capuano's start, is that he was able to go 5 innings. I think Ken Maka expected maybe 3, on a good night 4, but he was able to go 5 and pick up the win.
Best start that the Brewers had in Pittsburgh, except for Yamani.
And Gallardo was coming back 2 days later from the DL. You knew you were going to need bullpen work at that point.
Capuano back in the bullpen for now. He's been up in that bullpen getting ready quite a bit lately.
Maka saying he would like not to use Capuano here today. He and John Axford, he just prefer to be spectators in this game. There's a line drive out. Englund out to Adam Dunn, who's made the first 2 outs in the 6th inning. Speaking of Adam Dunn, he made an appearance up here in the land of the loss yesterday, Drew Olson.
That's right, B.A. You were talking about Alberto Gonzalez using his Dunn's glove, and Bob Uecker was mentioning that on the broadcast yesterday. And in the clubhouse, Adam Dunn heard it, and he walked up to the clubhouse in uniform. He walked up to the broadcast booth and said hello to Uecker. He confirmed that, yes, that was his glove being used at first base.
Delivered the information personally. You know, that's an interesting sight to see a 6'6" baseball player in uniform walking through the press box.
And the only way to get to the press box is to walk through the concourse.
That's right.
That would be a interesting little kind of cool for the fans, huh?
Dave Bush with a base hit.
Nothing little about it, actually.
The only player I remember coming to the press box that I ever witnessed was Kevin Long. Kevin Long is the hitting coach of the Yankees. He's doing a minor league game. He was the DH. As you see, Dave Bush coming up with another hit for the starting staff. So Kevin Long came up to the press box because he thought he was unfairly treated by the official scorer. They ruled a hot shot an error, and he thought it was a hit. So instead of dealing with it after the game, he actually came up the next inning. He walked up to the press box.
Did the official score change it?
And he had a confrontation with the official scorer.
Did it work?
Did not work. He kept it as an error. Kevin Long. All I could hear was the click-clack of the spikes on the press box hallway. Did you ever make a trip to the press box when you played, Rob?
No. Nope. Not many players do.
I saw Chris Narveson a tour of the press box in Atlanta. Before the game, well before the game.
He wasn't in uniform, was he?
No. Well, actually, I think he was. Partial BP attire.
No, I never actually approached an official score to have something change. So many hits in my career, one didn't matter.
Yeah, what's one going to matter? It's like throwing a lawn chair off the Titanic.
That's right.
Ricky Weeks sends one high in the air to left. Willingham gives way to Morgan. And that is the inning. Brewers come up empty in the sixth. It is 5-2 Milwaukee. We head to the seventh. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the new Miller Lite Vortex bottle. Taste greatness. By Toyota. Thank you for standing by us. For more information, visit buyatoyota.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers bringing the division-leading Cincinnati Reds tomorrow. And the first two games on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Wednesday you can catch on Brewers Radio. No television Wednesday. So the Reds are in town. They start today with a half-game lead over the Cardinals. 9 games ahead of the Brewers. The Brewers in third place in the National League Central to start today. Cubs have won 2 games from the Cardinals. The first 2 games of that series at Wrigley.
No TV on Wednesday?
No TV. We'll be here, though.
I did not know that. Wow. Glad they popped that up.
What's that mean for you, partner? Adam Kennedy with a base hit to right. So the Nationals starting to figure out Dave Bush a little bit. Third time through the batting order. Bush had given up just 1 hit through the first 5 innings.
And Cameron Lowe getting loose out in that bullpen, and a low fastball. Keeps it down in the zone, and it's only a base hit, but another leadoff base hit for the Nationals. Dave Bush had been able to get the first batter out in each inning until the 6th inning.
Well, because the bullpen has been worked so much over the last 2 weeks since the All-Star break, Ken Maka would love to get Bush through this 7th inning, but do you take that chance? And here comes the Brewers skipper. So Maka giving Lowe a couple of extra tosses in the bullpen, and he's going to make a pitching change right here and now. Done a good job today for Bush. He'll get a nice ovation on his way out. Playing the top of the 7th inning. Leadoff batter Adam Kennedy singling against Dave Bush. And that's the end of the road for Bush, who goes 6+ here today. Gives up 2 earned runs and still a runner at first, his responsibility. Bush turns it over to Cameron Lowe.
Well, a couple of days ago, great outing for Cameron Lowe. 2 scoreless innings. Allowed only 1 base runner in a game that John Axford would ultimately save. 25th appearance for Lowe, a 153 earned run average. Outstanding work out of Ken Macha's bullpen.
Well, Macha told us before the game he does not have John Axford available, or would like not to use Axford or Capuano or Zach Braddock. So what's the path to the finish line with that being said?
Well, we'll see.
Trevor Hoffman is available tonight or today.
It will certainly depend on the score and what's going on in the game.
Cameron Lowe throws it away. Kennedy around second. He'll stop there. So that's an error for Lowe that allows Kennedy to second base.
Seriously doubt that Adam Kennedy was going to be stealing a base. A snap throw, a quick throw, and not even close to Prince Fielder. So that eliminates the double play when you have a ground ball pitcher on the mound. Always like to be able to turn that double play.
Ian Desmond at the plate, and a strike from Lowe. Desmond committed a costly error back in the 4th inning, and it opened up a 3-run inning for the Brewers. He's hoping for a little redemption at the plate here in the 7th. It was Desmond who was robbed by Edmonds yesterday, although he did get credit for an RBI on a sacrifice fly. That diving catch by Jim Edmonds. Desmond is hitless in this series.
Having a tough time making contact. He struck out a fair amount in this series.
His first 3 trips to the plate in the series on Friday, he struck out. Has 5 Ks in this series so far.
It's all about plate discipline for Desmond. Got a .248 batting average and a .288 on base percentage. That one got him right on the toe. Tough guy to walk.
Ball and 2 strikes. Lowe gets so much movement on his sinker. From the middle of the strike zone to the shoot tops.
He stands tall. He's got a little bit of rotation on it that will lend itself to a little bit of sinking action. Plus, he's throwing straight down.
We'll chop her out to Escobar.
There's a double play ball.
Yeah, Kennedy to third. So Desmond is out. 1 gone in the inning, and here comes Michael Morse. Morse is on the other end of the spectrum from Desmond. He has been red hot in this series. And yet he's going to go through this 3-game series without playing a complete game in any of the 3.
Making it much easier for that Brewer pitching staff. This guy's tough.
Back on Friday, Morse started in right field, and he homered in his first 2 at-bats. He had a 3-run home run in the 2nd, had a solo home run in the 4th. He drove in 4, his first career multi-homer game. Then he was taken out on a double switch. And then the same thing happened to him on Saturday. He had 2 hits and was lifted again on a double switch. But today, Morse enters the game on a double switch, so he'll finish the game.
Can't figure why he's not playing every day. and staying in the baseball game.
He singled in his first plate appearance in the 6th inning. As Lowe deals him strike 2. National skipper Jim Riggleman. Made plenty of moves in this series. It's that argument between what have you done for me lately and what does your media guy tell me you are and what you've done and where you're coming from. Morse had an injury to start the year, calf strain. So he had to go to the minor leagues, fight his way back to the big leagues, and not a whole lot of at-bats this year. This is just his 82nd at-bat of the season.
I guess I subscribe to what have you done for me lately, and what he's done for Jim Riggleman lately has been very good. It really hasn't made much of an impression, has it?
These eyes have seen some damage from Michael Morse. Not those eyes.
If you're asking us, keep him out of the game. Goodness.
Not that we're telling Jim Riggleman how to do his job. Just an observation. Lucroy sets up inside. And that's a foul tip. Lucroy hangs on. That's a strikeout for Cameron Lowe. 2 outs in the inning as we check in with Drew.
Yeah, you guys were talking about the Brewers being a little thin in the bullpen today. That could change pretty quickly. Zach Braddock threw 25 pitches in the bullpen before the game and reported no problems, no pain, and he could be available real quickly. And LaTroy Hawkins is scheduled to make what could be his last rehab appearance for Nashville tomorrow night. So there may be some reinforcements coming soon.
And that is music to Ken Macha's ears.
Just in the nick of time, right?
But today is the day that has the manager concerned. As Morgan takes a strike.
In the 9th inning last night, Nigel Morgan dropped down a beautiful bunt with the corner infielders in on the grass. I mean, it was such a good bunt. Actually, Morgan pinch hit last night in the 9th for Mike Morse.
Bouncing ball, foul. Lowe keeps pumping the strikes in. 0-2 on Nigel Morgan.
Yeah, with sink, getting everything on the ground. Even the foul balls, ground balls.
It's not the best combination for the Brewers here. Nigel Morgan about as fast as it gets in baseball. And you got a pitcher who throws the sinker, so you figure a ground ball. Got a runner at third with 2 outs. Just missed.
Now, Morgan likes the ball up in his zone. We saw that with Dave Bush. He hung the curveball with 2 strikes. Able to slap it into the outfield. You got to pitch this guy hard and down in the zone. This is a good matchup for Cameron Lowe, but the Brewer infield has to be on their toes because he can run pretty well.
You're always afraid of those little choppers, those little swinging bunts. Like that. And Escobar throws, and it's late. Morgan beats it out.
That's what you're talking about right there.
Kennedy scores the run, and the Nationals are within 2.
It was a good pitch by Cameron Lowe. He got his ground ball. Morgan up the middle, and with his speed, able to beat it. And it really wasn't that close. And a run in.
Some kind of play by Escobar to even have a chance at Morgan. So the Nationals had the right guy at the plate with a runner at third. And here's another speedster in Willie Harris. Morgan has 24 steals this year.
And it won't be long before he takes off.
And only Michael Bourne has more stolen bases in the National League. Bourne with 29 with the Astros. Thing about Morgan, he's stolen 24 bases, but he's been caught 13 times. The most in the National League.
And Nationals lead the league in being caught stealing.
He's got a huge lead at first.
There's a guy you want right here. You don't have to deal with the middle of this order. Not with men on base. You know, Willingham and Dunn coming up.
Harris hitting 194 to start the day. His batting average down to 190 after an 0 for 3 this afternoon.
Nyjer Morgan will be running on this pitch. How about the sink on that fastball? Right over the top of it.
Morgan goes. Lucroy throws. And Morgan's in there, stolen base. Lucroy, a good throw to second. That's as quick as he could have gotten the baseball to Escobar, but Morgan had a great jump and great speed. And he steals his 25th base of the year.
Well, it's very difficult to throw out base stealers like Nyjer Morgan. I mean, those guys are going to get their stolen bases. I mean, he just flat out runs the baseball. But if you're Jonathan Lucroy, you can't do any better than that. A quick release, ball right on the money. But Morgan, a great base stealer, able to beat it.
So now base hit. The Nationals pull within a run. Willie Harris in a hitter's count.
Concentrate on that hitter.
Yeah.
I mean, Nyjer Morgan, he's going to bounce around. He's going to try and disrupt the rhythm and take Lowe's concentration away from that hitter. And forget about him. It's a middle infielder's responsibility to keep him close at second base.
To Fielder. He backs up, takes the big hop. Lowe is right there for him. Good play by Prince. And the inning is over. The Nationals get a run. It is now 5-3. Sunday is our custom. We stay for God Bless America. We'll turn it over to Rob Edwards in the Brewers public address.
God Bless America, led by Martina McBride.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains
After the game, we go to the bottom of the 7th inning now. 5-3 Brewers lead. This one have all the markings for a potential closer coming in. What about Trevor Hoffman instead of Axford if he has the day off, Jerry?
Well, they said Axford to have the day off, so I think Trevor's ready. He's been working real hard at it, having great outings the last several outings. I think he's ready for it.
All right, we'll keep our eye on that. Of course, only the bottom of the 7th inning right now. We're getting ready for the post-game show. We're also going to be showing you the top 2 final moments of the 1990s, our look back at the 40-40 for the Brewers. Guys?
All right, Craig, Jerry, thank you. Looking forward to Brewers Live postgame, and Hell's bells might be ringing once again here at Miller Park if it is a save situation. Alcides Escobar leading off against Peralta. Just a 2-run game now. 5-3 Milwaukee. All 5 of the Brewers' runs were unearned against starter Ross Detweiler, who went 3 2/3 and gave up 3 hits.
On the run for the Nationals in the 7th inning, top of this inning, was the result of an error. A throwing error by Cameron Lowe.
Fly ball to right, coming in is Morse. That's in the seats.
You don't throw away that pickoff over to first base. You get a double play. And no run across. That error is a part of the game. Good job by Cameron Lowe getting his ground ball. Looks like he's going to go out for the 8th.
Yeah. That is the bridge to the closing spot. Lowe's been asked to pitch a great deal lately. And with a sinker ball pitcher, sometimes they can be more effective with fatigue, as Escobar sends one down the line. He is on the move, on his way to second. Escobar thinking about third. He's on his way to third base now. The throw comes in. He's safe. How about Escobar? A triple. The speedy shortstop goes all the way around to third on a base hit down the left field line.
Well, you don't see too many triples down the left field line. You see them all the time to right field, but Josh Willingham took an awful long time down in that corner, and Escobar never slowed down. And a leadoff triple for the Brewers in the 7th with the big boys coming up. I don't think the Nationals were expecting Escobar to pull the baseball. They had Willingham shaded around a little bit toward the gap.
Triple number 7 for Escobar. He is 1 off the National League lead. Shane Victorino of the Phillies with 8. Infield is in for the Nationals. Braun at the plate. A big spot for the Brewers to get some runs back. Braun is 0 for 3. He lined out his last time up, hit one sharply to right. There's a pop up and a ground out on his card today as well. Well, last night Ryan Braun drove one off the left field wall. By the way, just if you like to keep the scorebook at home, that was later called a single for Braun, even though Braun went to second base last night. Joe Inglet never made it to third, so after they looked at the tape, that's why it ended up as a game-winning RBI single and not a game-winning RBI double.
Yeah, once the run scored, Inglet just stopped running.
Right.
And he got to third base, they would have awarded Ryan with a double.
So Braun has Joe Inglet to thank for his slugging percentage. But it was a game winner, and all left happy last night after Braun picked up the hit. There's a strike to Ryan. It's 3-1.
Say it ain't so, Joe.
Say it ain't so. Allen's into shallow left. That's a long run for Willingham. Back is Desmond, and he's going to make the catch, and Escobar won't challenge. So Desmond with his great range able to make that play. Shortstop with a lot of speed. Our U.S. Cellular text question: which team is the most surprising this season? We want to hear from you about this. 234-234 is the text number, courtesy of U.S. Cellular. The White Sox, the Reds, the Rangers, or the Padres. Just type in the corresponding letter. And we'll have the final results for you on Brewers Live postgame coming up after this one.
A big out for the Nationals and Peralta. Now they have the luxury of walking Prince Fielder, setting up a double play with Casey McGee coming up. Boy, a 3-1 pitch to Ryan Braun. He popped it up.
Well, with the shortstop going back over his shoulder, do you take a chance scoring a run there?
No, not with the middle of the order up. Maybe if you're down at the bottom of the order, you might take a chance, but not with these guys coming up.
Well, Desmond has a cannon for a throwing arm. Even with Escobar's speed, Brad Fisher taking no chances.
And you never want to do that with nobody out. I mean, that's the first out of the inning. Maybe if it made it 2 outs and the bottom of the order's coming up, he might take a chance.
Well, the stage is set here for Casey McGee. This is a make-or-break moment for the Nationals here in the 7th inning. You got Burnett, the lefty, and Drew Storen, the hard-throwing right-hander who we saw last night. Storen took the loss in last night's game. And here comes Jim Riggleman.
It doesn't look like he's going to make a pitching change. Jim Riggleman's big on the big infield meeting at the mound, talking about defense. Maybe instructing his infield as to what he wants them to do in the event of a ground ball. Who knows? It's a very interesting meeting on the mound in a similar situation last night.
So the manager has had his say. And with 1 out, here's Casey McGee. McGee doubled his last time up.
Infield playing halfway. The ball's hit hard enough, they're going to go for 2. If it's not hit hard, they're going to check the runner at third base and then go from there.
A strike from Peralta.
Well, there's a ton of room over on the right side. Big hole between Adam Dunn holding the runner, and you got Kennedy way up the middle, shaded for that double play. And Casey McGee pretty good at shooting the ball in that direction.
Peralta came on in the 6th, had a scoreless inning with a hit. His 2nd inning of work here today. 1st and 3rd with 1 out. And McGee rips one deep center field, way back. Morgan at the track, and there she goes! Casey McGee, a 3-run home run. 8-3 Milwaukee. And with a mighty swing from the mighty Casey, the Brewers have opened it back up at Miller Park.
No, that's one ball you can't defend. A hanging slider right down the middle, and Casey McGee able to wait back and power it out of here off the batter's eye in center. Casey hammers that one right off the sweet spot. And the Brewers get their 3 runs back. They've got their 5-run lead again. A no-doubter to center for Casey McGee.
Birdie takes a dive. And the Brewers lead 8-3. First home run for McGee since July 1st in St. Louis.
Brewers now with 128 home runs. They can hit them.
Casey McGee delivers a big home run. A leadoff triple. Fielder the intentional walk. McGee goes deep to center. Jonathan Lucroy at the plate, presented by Wendy's. That is the 25th home run for the Brewers in this 14-game stretch, where they've homered in each of those 14 games.
And 5 of the 8 home runs coming on homers. Nothing new with the Brew Crew.
128 home runs for the season, and this game number 100 of the season. Well, what a big hit that was for Casey McGee. Now 14 home runs, 58 runs batted in for Casey. 2 hits tonight, including a walk. Now Lucroy, right field. Morse closes and makes the play for out number 2. All right, Rock Hour, Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin text question. Pete from Sturdivant wants to know, where do you see LaTroy Hawkins fitting into the bullpen upon his return? What role do you see him fitting in, I guess?
Well, I don't know if he's going to be a setup man right away. You know, you ease him in, you get him back in there. You don't want to pitch him too many days in a row. The Brewers have told Hawkins that they're not going to bring him back until he proves to them that he can pitch on back-to-back days, and that's going to be an important hurdle for Hawkins to be able to get over.
Hawkins pitched on Thursday and Friday down in Nashville, and then you see how he responds, and then he's got to come back, which will be tomorrow.
Right.
And then once he passes those tests, the back-to-back test, as Rock mentioned, then he'll be activated.
But you ease him in. You ease him in. You don't want to put him in the fire right away, 7-8 innings in a close game. But you never know. Hawkins, veteran guy. He's been through the wars before, and depending on how he's throwing when he comes back, that will determine the role that he's going to fill.
Well, Gomez strikes out. The inning is over, but not before Casey McGee gives the Brewers some separation. A 3-run home run in the 7th inning. And the Brewers have an 8-3 lead as we head to the 8th.
In Milwaukee, the Reds come to town. We are going to keep things partly cloudy and comfortable, still feeling much less humid. We're talking 77 degrees for your first pitch temperature.
All right, good looking forecast for sure. We've had a great day today. Plenty of sunshine. Cameron Lowe back on the mound. The Brewers now enjoying a 5-run lead once again. They led 5-0 at one point. The Nationals scored 3 to make it 5-3. And Casey McGee with one swing of the bat, giving the Brewers their 5-run lead back as Willingham unloads. That one is hooking, and that baseball is a foul ball, according to Vic Carapazza.
Well, he just can't hang anything middle in to this guy. If I'm calling games against Josh Willingham, he doesn't get anything inside. He's going to have to go to right field.
Calling games as a catcher, you mean, as opposed to what you're doing now?
Right. Putting the fingers down. This guy's going to have to go to right field once.
That's such a good eye as well. He takes his walks. That's the thing about Willingham. You just wonder how long Willingham is going to be in a Nationals uniform. There's been a lot of talk about Willingham on the trade front.
He's always been a good run producer. Even in his days with the Florida Marlins.
Matt Capps, all-star closer for the Nationals. Well, Willingham had the best day of his career right here at Miller Park last year. July 27th, he hit back-to-back grand slam home runs in consecutive at-bats. Escobar makes a play. Lowe continues to get his ground balls. And Willingham is the first out of the 8th inning.
Yeah, come out to Miller Park as the Brewers host the Houston Astros Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, August 6th through the 8th. Tickers are going fast. Call 414-902-4000 or go to Brewers.com today.
Part of a sellout crowd here today. The 9th sellout of the season.
By the way, how are your hands?
Fine. I think your concern level is way too high. You talking about the foul ball?
I think when you go home, you're going to be soaking your hands in a bucket
true.
of ice. I know you are.
There is no issue.
Oh, yeah.
With these skillets. It's fine. I don't even know where the ball hit me.
Are the palms of your hands normally that red?
I know it. I know a piece of the ball got a little bit of the boiler. A little bit of a trap.
Oh, you did a heck of a job getting in front of that.
Well, I just,
really did.
When you went under the table, I figured somebody needs to save face up here in the booth. Last time that happened, Casey McGee wouldn't let you forget about it.
See, now I'm sitting here complimenting you, now you're getting on me. I didn't go under the table. Close. Of course, that one that came right at me had a little bit more hair on it than the one that you had. I mean, it's got a mark back here on the wall.
The evidence of a much firmer foul ball. Dunn rifles one to right field. And a base hit for Adam Dunn, his second hit. Base runner with one out here in the 8th. Speaking of trade bait, you wonder how long Dunn's going to be in a Nationals uniform.
Again, Adam Dunn. Talked about as far as the trade deadline. Well, it'd be good to get this guy out of town without any home runs. He hits them in bunches. Didn't even start in yesterday's ball game. Did have a sac fly in the 9th.
Talking with Dan Radisson over there. That's probably a conversation that has nothing to do with baseball. Because what does a first base coach really say to Adam Dunn at first base? I'm glad you didn't pull one foul and
way to swing it, Adam.
Take me out for a few days.
Baby.
Christian Guzman will bat for the Nationals in the pitcher spot. Eight 3 Milwaukee, 8th inning. Cameron Lowe trying to give Ken Maka 2 innings. The Cameron Lowe story continues to be one of the best in baseball. And of course, he's a middle reliever now, evolving into a late reliever. But you figure where he was in his career, going to Japan, not making the big league club in Japan. He's there basically in a minor league setting with his Japanese team last year, which is different than the minor league setting in the States where you're pitching and you're in a town in a league and you're kind of in the wheel. You're mostly in a training mode when you're in the minor leagues in Japan. And to come back and be this effective against big league hitters has been an amazing story.
Man, for as long as he's been able to do it. I mean, he's been very good for a good stretch with the Brewers. Obviously found something over there in Japan and pitching more to contact, not trying to strike batters out. Concentrating more on getting ground balls, outs early in the count.
Brewers brought him up on June 1st. He was a starter in AAA. Made 10 starts for Don Money's Nashville Sounds. Fielder leaps. He's got it to second. Escobar makes the play. The second out of the inning. How about Fielder going up the ladder? The athletic Prince Fielder. Well done.
Another good pitch by Cameron Lowe, and Guzman beats it into the ground. Fielder playing behind the bag. Good thing, because had he been holding Dunn on first, that would have been a base hit. Brewers playing behind Dunn. That's why they were able to get the out. Yeah, the one hopper over Prince's head if he was holding the runner. And really the only play was at second base. Can't turn a double play with Guzman running.
Oh, nice play by Prince. 2 outs now. Pudge Rodriguez batting for the Nationals. 0 for 3 today. Carlos Villanueva preparing for the 9th inning perhaps, unless Lowe runs into any more trouble here in the 8th.
You probably won't see Trevor unless it is a save situation, because he did throw last night.
Escobar dives. He's got it. Backhand. Oh, what a play! Are you kidding me? Alcides Escobar. A brilliant play from the shortstop to end the inning. Reset. Brewers going for the sweep today against the Nationals. Jonathan Lucroy with an RBI base hit in the first inning. Another run came in on a wild pitch. It was a 2-run first inning for Milwaukee against Ross Detweiler. Then a costly error by Ian Desmond opened up the inning for the Crew. 3 runs came in, capped off by a 2-run homer from Ricky Weeks, his 20th home run of the year. Casey McGee, when the game was just a 2-run lead, McGee delivers a 3-run home run for Casey in the 7th inning. And how about that play from Alcides Escobar?
Wow, doesn't get any better than that. I mean, just to be able to get there and then the backhand shovel toss to Ricky Weeks. I mean, that's just a great athletic play by Alcides Escobar, and that's what you get with Escobar. Once in a while, he's going to let one roll up his glove for an error on a routine play, but I'll tell you, that was a big league play at short.
Yeah, there just aren't many major league shortstops who can make that play. The degree of difficulty off the charts with that one. As you see the numbers on Matt Capps.
Hasn't pitched since Wednesday against Cincinnati. 24 out of 28 for Matt Capps, selected to the All-Star team this year.
And if you're the Brewers, this is right where you want them. Pitching in a deficit. And not a save situation. 8-3 Milwaukee as England fouls one away. No balls and 2 strikes. England is 0 for 3. He lined out his last time up. Well, we have seen some great defensive plays in this series. Jim Edmonds had one last night. Carlos Gomez on Friday. I'm not sure which one I like best. They're all good.
Yeah, they're all good. You don't have to pick one.
Okay, it's like your children, right?
Right.
Trevor Hoffman gets loose.
I guess he will pitch.
You don't normally see Hoffman get up on the bullpen mound and not come into a game. So the fact that he's warming up tells you he'll have the 9th.
Got to the ballpark today, saw Trevor just finishing up a long jog through the parking lots at Miller Park. Always working.
A relentless workout schedule. One gone here in the 8th inning.
So you never know. You come here on a day game, grilling up some Clement sausages, and you might see Trevor Hoffman running by your tailgate party. Keep an eye out. Yes, it is him.
Well, Jim Edmonds announced as the pinch hitter. Edmonds yesterday locked in at the plate, belted his 7th home run of the year, had 2 hits in yesterday's game, and that catch, one of the best of the season, no doubt. Edmonds didn't want to rank it for us. We asked him today if he'd like to rank that catch, but he did say it's one of the best catches as a 40-year-old that he's had. Little bouncing ball. Edmonds chugging hard down the line. Cap's throw is in time. 2 outs. Edmonds slowed by an Achilles strain. That's why he's hobbling. He said he's going to take this final part of the schedule and go as hard as he can and until he explodes.
And you see the grimace on his face. You know it hurts, but he's running hard because he's sniffing out a base hit. 2 hopper to second base. He may not be pushing it like that.
Edmonds all but announced his retirement after last night's game, and then he joined us on the broadcast today and said, you know, he's not ready to call it an official retirement, but that's where he's leaning, and we'll see after the season ends. Never ask a player when he's hurt or right at the end of the season. You got to give him a little time.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration for Edmonds. I mean, he's been swinging the bat so well, but that Achilles heel. He's got another one. I mean, both sides now. He said, you know, the one was bothering him. That started to feel better. Now he's got the other issue, and that's what happens when you turn 40. I mean, Edmonds has been around. There's a lot of games under his belt, a lot of wear and tear on everything. a little frustration, and those are the kind of things that are said, so you just got to take them with a grain of salt.
Well, every player goes through it when, it's your choice to retire. Let's face it, there are a very select few players who actually get to control their destiny as far as whether they are going to retire or not. Most are forced into retiring, or if you never make it to the big leagues level, you quit. You don't retire in the minor leagues. You just quit.
Those of us that have been released like to say that, you know what, I was ready to retire anyway.
Right. Right. Cap strikes out Ricky Weeks. The inning is over, and we are headed to the ninth. Last call for the Nationals. Hoffman trying to finish it out. 8-3 Milwaukee. The ninth, and a big home run from Casey McGee in the seventh. That took it from a 5-3 game to an 8-3 game, and now Trevor Hoffman is in to try to close it out. Not a save situation, but Hoffman will have the ninth here today. And the Brewers looking for a sweep of the Nationals. With a win today, the Brewers would be 6 under 500. The last time they were 6 under 500 was May 15th. Wow. Following a 10-6 loss to the Phillies. That's when the Brewers were 15 and 21. And if you want to go back a little further to May 14th, that was a 9-5 loss to the Phillies. Brewers were at 15 and 20.
Starting to play some good baseball at Miller Park. It's about time.
They are trying to plow their way back to 500. Brewers have not been at 500 since they were 8 and 8 at the beginning of the season. With the front-running Reds coming in tomorrow. Cincinnati is here for 3. We'd love to have you at the ballpark. The premier pitching matchup in that series is Tuesday night. Gallardo against Volquez.
Yeah. Well, if you like home runs, you're going to see a few, I would imagine. The two top home run hitting clubs in the National League.
Kennedy with a base hit. The second hit of the game. And a leadoff single for the Nationals. Tomorrow it's Randy Wolf and Bronson Arroyo. Arroyo's won 10 games this season. And then Gallardo and Volquez, followed by Narveson against Travis Wood. Here's Ian Desmond, 0 for 3. Dave Bush is in line for the win here today. It would be his 5th. Cameron Lowe, 2 scoreless. Lowe impressive in his 2 innings. A lot of ground balls from Cameron Lowe. He gave up just 2 hits, and one of those was an infield hit.
And good pitching, good defense for the Brewers. Timely hitting, a couple of home runs. Looking to finish off the Nationals here in the 9th. Good start to the home portion of the second half.
Now the Brewers trying to win 6 consecutive games here at Miller Park, going back to the 3-game sweep against the Pirates prior to the All-Star break. Two balls, 2 strikes. Hoffman facing the second-year national shortstop, Ian Desmond. Got some rain in the Northeast this afternoon. The Yankees and the Royals are delayed. The Phillies and the Rockies are delayed.
That change up by Trevor up in the zone. That's why Desmond able to get a piece of it. Getting the rain that we had.
That Alex Rodriguez watch continues. Rodriguez is 1 for 2 for the Yankees as that game is being delayed by rain. That game's in the books, by the way. It's 5-3 through 5 innings, so they're unable to come back. The Yankees could win that one today. A-Rod sitting on 599 career home runs. Swing and a miss. Hoffman strikes him out.
Yep, 85 right down the middle, and Desmond swings right through it. There it is, hit it, and it comes up empty.
First out for Trevor is for a strikeout. The Phillies are trailing Colorado. That game's also official. That's in the 6th inning. Rockies lead 3-2. Still think the Rockies are poised for a move in the National League West. The Rockies and the Giants, but San Diego keeps winning. They won again last night, beat the Pirates. Matt Latos return, pitch well. Morse into center field, and Gomez runs it down. Out number 2. Tomorrow it's Bronson Arroyo, a 10-game winner this year. Randy Wolf opposes him. The division-leading Cincinnati Reds. First of 3 tomorrow night from Miller Park. We hope you'll make plans to be with us. If not here at the ballpark, then right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Airtime for Brewers Live is 6:30 with Craig Kashawn and Jerry Augustine. Brewers are an out away from a sweep. Cincinnati will be coming from Houston, where they were shut out today. Strohs beat the Reds 4-0 behind Wandy Rodriguez. So the Brewers could be facing the Cincinnati Reds, trailing by 8 games in the division. Cardinals could overtake Cincinnati. They play tonight against the Cubs. Runner goes, pitch in the dirt. Kennedy ends up at second base. Defensive indifference, a call. No stolen base. 2-1. 3-1. Check that on Nyjer Morgan. Hoffman trying to close it down here. Strike, 3-2. Morgan hangs tough. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Nyjer Morgan. Washington has an off day tomorrow. Then they head home to start a series with the Atlanta Braves Tuesday. They've got the Braves and the Phillies coming in, while the Brewers bring in the Cincinnati Reds. 3-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Trevor Hoffman strikes out Nyjer Morgan. Another scoreless inning for Trevor Hoffman. Casey McGehee, our Menards player of the game today. The Brewers sweep the Nationals. And McGee's 3-run home run was a big part of it. 8-3 the final score. Brewers Live coming up next. Let's kick it out to